headstands and handstands are two yoga poses among the many in the continuum of inversions. Inversions being any yoga pose where the hips are above the shoulders. In this video, I would like to welcome you to the workshop that you will be attending and give you a little bit about my approach, my philosophy if you want, in regards to training inversions. I would like to start on why I think it's a good idea to practice inversions. And I will start with a very basic, very physical ones, which are four in my opinion. And the first one is to improve proprioception. In the same way that in order to stand up and move in space, we need to develop some awareness of our surroundings and our own body in relation to it. The same thing has to happen, or being taken if you want, to the next level when we are upside down. Also coordination. We are very good at moving our arms and our limbs when we are upright, but once we get upside down, we realize that it is a skill we can improve further. Strength and flexibility are two things that also can be enhanced through inversions practice. Strength is very straightforward because obviously when we are upright, it's our legs carrying us around. When we're upside down, it's our upper body, our back, and to some extent our shoulders that carry us. So we need to strengthen them. Flexibility as well can go a long way towards helping us being upside down. But there are also some mental reasons why practicing inversions can be very beneficial. The first one is my favorite, and I've been saying for many years now that I compare practicing inversions similar to learning a new language. A lot of people you must have heard saying how we get smarter because we have to build new neural connections when we learn a new language. And I think the same thing happens when we learn inversions. Our brain has to start thinking in a different way. Also, when we are practicing inversions, we need to control our nervous system. If we are very tense, it's unlikely that we will be balanced for long. And of course, the breath will play a key role. So I think it's not a coincidence that in the yoga tradition, inversions, from some styles of yoga anyway, are practiced prior to Sivasana. So you get control of your autonomic nervous system and then you are ready for relaxation. But there is a third one, and this comes back to breathing. Breathing, respiration, is enhanced when someone is practicing inversions for long term. Two reasons for that. First of all, the same one I mentioned earlier. You need to control your breathing when you're upside down. Otherwise, you will either get very tired or you will get too excited and you will come down. The second one is the muscles that are involved in breathing, that surround the lungs, are very much involved in inversions, and they have to work a little bit more. Let's start with the diaphragm. The diaphragm is the muscle sitting at the bottom of the lungs and above the intestines, and it is participating in respiration. When we inhale the diaphragm and we are upright, the diaphragm is pushed down and it reverses its movements on the exhalation. But when we're upside down, this pushing down action means it has to push up, it has to push against the intestine. And to some extent, the intestines and the rest of the body the lower body is involved. So the diaphragm has to move a little bit harder. Also, the intercostal muscles will be working a little bit more, especially in asanas like handstands, where they are extended. So in that respect, respiration is improved, and as respiration is improved, there is better oxygenation of the body as well as the brain. So this is the third reason why inversions are good for mental health. On an emotional level, finally, it is very common, and those of you that have practiced inversions before probably can testify, is that it's very common to be releasing endorphins. People get addicted even to practicing inversions. I have to admit that a long time ago I did join the Inversions Anonymous, or of course I'm joking, but you understand my point here. Now that we covered on why inversions is a good reason, I will want to come to how we can practice inversions, because I acknowledge that to some people they are scary, and the fear is a factor that needs to be respected. In my workshop and in any of my classes, really, I don't want to push anyone to the deep water, but of course when someone is ready to swim there, I'm happy to hold their hand. So are they so foreign as a lot of people think, inversions? And I have two reasons to think that they are not. My first one is that anything that we can do upside down, we can do upright. Now, if you're working with a teacher, they can explain to you what it takes to hold the position upside down. And by practicing it first properly upright, you can get familiar with it. This is the reason why a lot of my classes, even if they don't involve inversions, the alignment cues that I give are very much geared towards developing into an inversions practice. The second reason is that there are most of the times regressions. So if, for example, you think that standing on your forearms or standing on your hands is like many months or years away, that might be the case, might not, yeah, but definitely there will be some drills, there will be some exercises that if practiced, this more advanced one will become you will get closer to it soon. Now, in this stage, I would like you to think of two things. Number one, what do you want to get out of this workshop? I want you to think, if you have an inversions practice, what is the next step for you? If you don't, what is your first goal? And the second thing is, I would like you to think, how much time are you planning to invest after the workshop in terms of practicing the things that we will cover? Any insights that you will get out of it, it's not going to be of much use until you put in the time to practice them. So I want you at this stage to pause the video and think of these two things. What do you want to get out of it, and what is the plan afterwards? Hopefully you spend a little bit of time on these two aspects. And now I would like you to tell you what we will be doing in this workshop, where the primary focus is alignment. Starting with headstands, I will cover what it takes to have a solid, safe headstand practice. And by safe, I mean not kicking up and flipping over and landing randomly. And the second aspect is what happens after one has achieved a straight line headstand, which in my opinion is the beginning of the journey. Coming to forearm stand, I will be covering the main muscle groups that are involved in this very challenging pose. You need really to get a fair amount of strength and flexibility in specific muscles in order to be able to enter and hold a forearm balance. But also I want to find out for each one of you which is the line of forearm standing that will suit your body. Everybody is different, and based on your anatomy, chances are that some line will come easier for you. So if we get the chance, it will be very valuable for you to focus on getting this first line as a start. And from there, as your vocabulary, your yoga vocabulary, if you want, will get richer, you will be able to have forearm balance in different lines. Coming to the third one, I will cover which are the primary joints that, if they are not conditioned, handstands will not happen. If these joints are not strong enough and flexible enough, the whole approach will be not working and it will only cause frustration. But also I would like to cover with you how you can be detached from the wall. I'm very aware that a lot of people are quite comfortable standing on their hands provided there is a wall behind them. But divorcing the wall is absolutely necessary if one has the ambition of balancing in the middle of the room. So this is also something that we will cover. I'm looking forward to seeing you there.